We're live from New Delhi, watching TT India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Kurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Snow and ice wreak New Year travel plans across the Atlantic as the US and Europe hit by weather vagaries. 60 million under weather alert in US, flights hit by massive winter storm. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken wades into South Korea crisis as seeks to encourage policy stability in Seoul to hold talks on day and arrest warrant for Yoon expires. Hamas and Israel trade charges on hostage release. Hamas says it's ready to free 34 hostages in the first phase of a potential deal. Israel says Hamas yet to provide any names. A billion Indian hearts beat for Payal Kabadia's All We Imagine As Light as the 82nd Golden Globes get underway in Beverly Hills. Musical thriller Emilia Perez leads the pack with 10 nominations. And in sports, Amad Diallo goal earns draw as Manchester United hold leaders Liverpool in Premier League. On to the details now. Israel and Hamas argued on Sunday over the details of an agreement to halt fighting in the conflict-ravaged territory and bring hostages home. Hamas said it has approved a list of 34 Israeli hostages to be exchanged in a possible ceasefire deal. The Office of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, however, has put out a statement saying, contrary to what was claimed, Hamas has yet to provide a list of hostages. This comes just days after indirect negotiations for a ceasefire for hostages deal resumed in Doha, talks that have so far shown few signs of progress. On Saturday, Hamas turned up the pressure on Israel at the negotiating table, releasing a video of 19-year-old hostage Liri al-Bagh. A renewed push is underway to reach a ceasefire in the 15-month conflict before U.S. President-elect Donald Trump takes office on the 20th of January. Israeli negotiators were dispatched on Friday to resume talks in Doha, brokered by Qatari and Egyptian mediators, and U.S. President Joe Biden's administration, which is helping to mediate, has urged Hamas to agree to a deal. And updates on South Korea's political turmoil now as time ticked on the arrest warrant of suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Seoul early on Monday for talks with several government officials, including acting President Choi Sang-mok. Blinken, who is on a three-nation visit to South Korea, Japan, and France, will meet his counterpart Cho Tae-yul later on Monday. Blinken will also meet with senior South Korean government officials to reaffirm the U.S.-South Korea alliance. Blinken will later hold a joint news conference with Foreign Minister Cho Tae-yul, who is not under threat of impeachment. Meanwhile, South Korean investigators trying to arrest suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol have less than 24 hours before their warrant expires on Monday, with embattled leader holed out in his residence surrounded by supporters. The impeached president has defiantly refused questioning 3 times before a failed arrest attempt saw hundreds of his protective guards block investigators trying to detain him over a bungled martial law decree last month. Well, if the 7-day warrant expires, investigators would have to apply for another one, which would likely be granted by a court of their choosing on the same grounds the initial warrant was issued, that Yoon has refused to emerge for questioning over his martial law decree. Well, Yoon faces prison or at worst the death penalty if arrested after briefly suspending civilian rule and plunging South Korea into its worst political crisis in decades. And some updates on Jeju plane crash now. South Korea's government has decided to extend the shutdown of the Muan International Airport, where a Jeju Air passenger jet had crashed, to January 14th. 14 South Korean police raided the offices of Jeju Air and the operator of Muan International Airport on January 2nd as they step up their probe into the fatal crash of a Boeing 737-800 that killed 179 people. And the new leader of Austria's Conservatives said they are ready to enter into negotiations with the far-right Freedom Party to form a new government after coalition talks with the Social Democrats and Liberals broke down. At a leadership meeting of the Conservatives on Sunday, Christian Stocker was chosen as interim party leader. Stocker said he had been authorized by his party to enter into coalition talks with the far-right if invited to do so.
Sie werden wahrscheinlich auch die Worte des Bundespräsidenten.
I expressly welcome the federal president's decision to meet the leader of the party with the most votes in Hofburg and to have a discussion. Because, as our federal chancellor has emphasized several times in the past, I also expect that the chairman of the party with the most votes will be entrusted with the formation of a future federal government. If we are invited to these talks, then we will accept the invitation.
Mit der Bildung einer Zukunft.
While Conservative Chancellor Karl Nehammer on Saturday broke off talks to form a government without the FPOE, which had won national elections in September for the first time. After attempts to form a coalition without the FPO fell apart, Nehammer stepped down on Saturday. In the wake of the collapse, Nehammer said he would step down as Chancellor and party chairman of the People's Party in the coming days to enable an orderly transition. He's held both posts since late 2021. Meanwhile, Austrian President Alexander Van der Bellen has announced that he would meet with far-right Freedom Party leader Herbert Kickl on Monday after efforts to form a coalition without the FPO collapsed and Conservative Chancellor Karl Nehammer resigned. He stated that voices within the Conservative People's Party, which had previously ruled out cooperation with an FPO under Herbert Kickl, have become much quieter. This, in turn, suggests that a new path may be opening up that did not exist before. And the debate over H-1B visas is intensifying in the U.S. ahead of Trump's inauguration. While the H-1B program remains vital for the tech industry, it has sparked controversy among Trump's allies. Meanwhile, New Zealand has reduced the work experience requirement for migrants from 3 years to 2. DD India's Mihir Maikuri provides a 360-degree roundup of the issue in the next report.
Just 2 weeks to go before Donald Trump's inauguration, the debate over H-1B visas for highly skilled foreign workers is heating up in the States. India has also weighed in, emphasizing how the mobility of skilled professionals benefits both the countries.
India-US economic ties benefit a lot from the technical expertise provided by skilled professionals, with both sides leveraging their strengths and competitive value. We look forward to further deepening India-US economic ties, which are to our mutual benefit.
India's stance follows recent endorsements of the H-1B program by President-elect Trump and Tesla CEO Elon Musk. However, the issue has created a rift among Trump's allies. While some see the program as vital for the US tech industry, others argue it threatens American jobs. So what exactly is the H-1B program and why is it a hot-button issue for skilled workers? The H-1B visa lets US employers hire foreign workers for specialized roles. These jobs usually need a bachelor's degree or equivalent. The H-1B visa is valid for up to 6 years, after which visa holders must leave for 12 months or seek permanent residency. Indians dominate H-1B visas, showcasing global talent. In financial year 2023, 72.3% of H-1B visas went to Indian nationals. For US employers, the H-1B visa program is a gateway to global talent. It fills critical skill gaps and helps firms stay competitive in the global market. Meanwhile, New Zealand, grappling with persistent labor shortages, has unveiled major updates to its visa and employment policies, making it easier for immigrants from other countries to seek work visa. On taking a closer look, one finds that work experience requirements for migrants have been reduced from 3 to 2 years. Changes aim to simplify hiring processes for skilled workers. Indian migrants are expected to benefit significantly. 2 new pathways for seasonal workers have been introduced. These include 3-year multi-entry visa for experienced workers and 7-month single-entry visa for lower skilled roles. Median pay criteria for specific visas are now removed. Employers must still post jobs and offer market rate salaries without fixed pay limits. And new rules balance employer flexibility with fair worker pay. From the US to New Zealand, these evolving policies underscore the critical role of global talent in shaping the future of industries and economies worldwide. Mihir Makri reporting for DD India.
Well, President Joe Biden signed a measure into law on Sunday that boosts Social Security retirement payments to some retirees who draw public pensions, such as former police officers and firefighters. The Senate voted last month to approve the Social Security Fairness Act, which would repeal 2-decades-old provisions that can reduce benefits for people who also receive a pension. The House of Representatives had approved it earlier. The law overturns a decades-old change to the popular retirement program that had been made to limit federal benefits to some higher-earning workers with pensions. Over time, growing numbers of employees, such as postal workers, also saw their payments capped. Speaking to reporters at the White House after he signed the Social Security Fairness Act, Biden said the transition to Trump's government seemed to be going smoothly.
As the first president in more than 20 years to expand Social Security benefits, this victory is a culmination of 4-year fight to provide security for workers who dedicate their lives to their communities. And I'm proud to have played a small part in this fight and get to sign it.
And Hollywood's best and brightest from film and television began arriving on the red carpet on Sunday for the Golden Globes, the year's first major showbiz awards gala. Stars are arriving outside the Beverly Hilton Hotel in the U.S. for the 82nd annual ceremony in lush couture and shimmery designer garb, kicking off awards season in style. The Golden Globes begin with surreal narco-musical Emilia Perez leading the movie Pack. Emilia Perez, which is almost entirely in Spanish, is hoping that a big night at the Globes, which are seen as a forerunner for the Academy Awards, could propel it to Oscar success in early March. Emilia Perez earned nominations across the board, including 3 acting nods for Carla Sofia Gascon, who plays the title character, as well as Joe Zaldana and Selena Gomez. And on to some weather updates now. A winter storm swept across a dozen states in the U.S. on Sunday, blanketing vast regions with snow, coating roads and ice, and plunging temperatures to freezing levels. The storm caused travel and work disruptions from Kansas City to Washington as it advanced eastwards. Transportation workers in Kansas City, Missouri worked to clear snow-covered roads for streetcars. The National Weather Service issued winter storm warnings for around a dozen states from Kansas to New Jersey, bringing the threats of blizzards, heavy snow, treacherous ice and freezing rain through Monday. It had predicted 4 to 8 inches of snowfall in the Kansas City with limited visibility and winds of up to 40 meters per hour. More than 60 million people across the U.S. were under weather alerts, with nearly 2,200 flights cancelled and over 25,000 delayed. A state of emergency has been declared in Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear urged residents to stay home after multiple vehicle crashes forced the closure of a major highway. Well, Ireland is also experiencing a significant snowfall, particularly affecting the southern regions. Heavy snow left a white sheet over southern parts of Ireland on Sunday, following heavy snowfall overnight and through the day. The southern Irish town of Cashel saw its iconic landmark, the Rock of Cashel, blanketed in snow, with the surrounding countryside also covered in a thick layer. Snowfall also affected other parts of the British Isles, with significant accumulations in Scotland, England and Wales. Early on Friday, Britain's Met Office had issued an amber warning for snow and ice in parts of England and Wales over the weekend. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. US NSA Jake Sullivan in New Delhi on a two-day visit to hold talks on bilateral, regional and global issues. PM Modi to inaugurate key railway projects boosting connectivity in Jammu and Kashmir, Telangana and Eastern India. And China's Ice City of Harbin kicks off record-breaking ice and snow festival with fireworks, stunning sculptures and thrilling ice slides.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipak Shikurana, and moving on, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is in New Delhi on a two-day visit. According to the White House, the U.S. NSA will hold talks with his counterpart Ajit Doval in New Delhi. The discussions are likely to cover a wide range of bilateral, regional and global issues, along with finalizing ongoing initiatives as the Joe Biden administration concludes its tenure. During his visit, Sullivan is also expected to meet India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar. Today, he will visit the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, where he will meet with young Indian entrepreneurs and deliver remarks on the United States and India building a shared future. While India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of various railway projects on Monday through a video link. In a significant move to further boost connectivity in Jammu and Kashmir, PM Modi will inaugurate the new Jammu Railway Division. PM Modi will also inaugurate the Charlapalli new terminal station in Telangana. Along with this, he will lay the foundation stone of Rayagada Railway Division building of East Coast Railway to improve connectivity in Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and nearby areas, leading to overall socio-economic development of the region. And national capital Delhi logged into dense fog for the fifth consecutive day on Monday for over 3 hours between 4 a.m. and 7:30 a.m., impacting flight and train operations. The Indian Meteorological Department has forecasted light rain in the early hours of Monday, issuing a yellow alert due to a fresh western disturbance. The weather phenomena is expected to bring more snowfall to the mountains and subsequently lead to a drop in temperature across North India from January 8th. In Himachal Pradesh, heavy rainfall or snowfall is very likely at isolated places, while in Jammu and Kashmir, Sunday evening witnessed light snowfall in plains as well, including in summer capital Srinagar. AMD has forecast heavy snowfall for Monday and Tuesday. Well, the changing weather conditions led to dense fog conditions in isolated pockets of Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, West Bengal and Sikkim, Bihar, Jharkhand, Assam and Meghalaya and Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram and Tripura in night or morning hours. Well, further squally wind with speed 45 km per hour to 55 km per hour, gusting to 65 km per hour, very likely to prevail along and off Somalia coast and adjoining southwest Arabian Sea. Fishermen advised not to venture into the sea in these areas. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. The Indian Railways marked a significant milestone as the first electric locomotive crossed the Anji-Khad cable bridge in Jammu and Kashmir's Riyasi district. The event symbolizes progress in the ambitious Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla railway link project aimed at seamlessly connecting the Union territory to the rest of India through a dedicated broad gauge railway line. The Toda tribal community in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu celebrated its traditional New Year festival today. Members of the community offered special prayers and performed the traditional dance on the occasion in Ooty. During the Mahakumbh 2025, Ganga Aarti was performed by women at the Sangam, captured through stunning drone visuals. The Mahakumbh Mela is the world's largest public gathering and collective act of faith. The Mahakumbh is being celebrated after 12 years and a huge turnout of devotees is expected in Prayagraj from January 13th to February 26th. And on to some sports news. Manchester United rallied to snap a 4-game losing streak and halt Liverpool's romp towards the Premier League title in a thrilling 2-2 draw at Anfield on Sunday. It looked as though Ruben Amorim's United would go home empty-handed despite a vastly improved display, but Amad Diallo struck a late equaliser in the 80th minute to earn his side a point. After Diallo's leveller had both sides chances to win in a frantic finale. Liverpool now have 46 points after 19 games, 6 more than Arsenal, while United moved up a place to 13th with 23 points. And South Africa enforced the follow-on after they bowled out Pakistan for 194 runs to take a first innings lead of 421 runs on the third day of the second test at Newlands on Sunday. Pakistan collapsed after a fourth wicket partnership of 98 between Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. Pakistan were without injured opening batsman Sayyam Ayub and there was minimal resistance from the rest of the batsmen. However, in the second innings, Pakistan started strongly. Opener Shan Masood slammed a century and added over 200 runs with Babar Azam for the opening wicket. Babar Azam was dismissed for 81 runs. Pakistan were 213 runs for the loss of 1 wicket at stumps, still trailing by 208 runs. And the United States of America lifted the United Cup title after beating Poland 2-0 in the final on Sunday. Both Coco Gauff and Taylor Fritz emerged victorious in their single matches. Fritz defeated Hubert Hurkacz after Coco Gauff outclassed Iga Swiatek in Sydney. Gauff eased past Swiatek with a scoreline of 6-4, 6-4, while Fritz had to work hard against his opponent in a tightly contested encounter. With this triumph, the USA has claimed its second United Cup title in 3 years. Well, the 41st China Harbin International Ice and Snow Festival kicked off at Harbin Ice Snow World in China's Harbin on Sunday. Themed Dream of Winter, Love Among Asia, the festival offers visitors a diverse range of activities, some of which are related to the upcoming 9th Asian Winter Games, further enriching the festival's cultural legacy. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.